Cheating wife story, how she chose her lover over their dying child. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I stood by my son's tiny white coffin, the one he'd picked because it felt safe, and checked my phone. My wife wasn't here. She was in Hawaii laughing with her lover. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and until a month ago, I thought I had it all. A cozy 5-bedroom house in suburban Seattle, a tech startup pulling in 7 figures, and a family that made every late night worth it. My wife, Lauren, was the woman I'd built it all for, high school sweethearts, married at 22, together for 12 years. She had this laugh that could light up a room, and our son, Oliver, inherited it. At 5, Oliver was our world, curly brown hair, eyes that sparkled like he knew life's secrets. But life's cruel, isn't it? Oliver got sick. Leukemia. 2 years of hospitals, chemo, and prayers later, I was standing at his funeral. Alone. Lauren? She was 3,000 miles away, sipping cocktails with someone who wasn't me. I've read cheating stories on Reddit, the kind where you think that'd never be me. But here I was, living one. This isn't just a story about a cheating wife caught, it's about the moment your whole world cracks, and you're left picking up the pieces while everyone watches. Let's rewind. Lauren and I weren't perfect, but we were solid. I ran my company, she managed marketing for a local nonprofit. We had date nights, family game nights with Oliver, even planned a 10th anniversary trip to Italy. Sure, the hospital bills piled up and I worked longer hours to keep us afloat, but I thought we were in it together. Lauren started pulling away last year, though. Little things, staying late at work, skipping Oliver's doctor visits, saying she needed space. I chalked it up to stress. Cancer does that to a family, right? I ignored the signs. That's on me. The funeral was quiet, just close family and friends. Oliver's preschool teacher left a teddy bear by the coffin. My sister, Hannah, squeezed my hand, whispering, "You're so strong, Ethan." Strong? I was a husk. Inside, I was screaming, not just for Oliver, but for Lauren's betrayal. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't want to look, but I did. A photo from an unknown number, Lauren on a beach, her arm around a guy in sunglasses, both grinning like they'd won the lottery. The timestamp? This morning. My son's funeral, and she was living her best life. I've seen infidelity story times on YouTube, the ones where the husband finds a text or an email. Mine wasn't that clean. It started 6 weeks ago. Oliver was in hospice and Lauren said she had a work conference in Portland. "I'll be back in 3 days, she promised, kissing Oliver's forehead. He was too weak to hug her. I stayed by his side, holding his hand, reading him stories about pirates. When Lauren didn't call, I got worried. I tracked her phone, yeah, I know, not my proudest moment. The dot wasn't in Portland. It was in Hawaii. I called her. No answer. Texted. Nothing. Then at 2 a.m. she sent, "I'm fine, just busy. Focus on Oliver." Busy? While our son was fading. That's when the doubts crept in. Was this an emotional cheating story, or worse? I didn't want to believe it. Lauren wasn't like the cheating wives in those Reddit threads, the ones who sneak around with coworkers. She was my Lauren, PTA mom, volunteer, the woman who cried when we got Oliver's diagnosis. But the signs were there, and I'd ignored them. Late-night texts she'd hide. A new perfume I didn't recognize. Her sudden obsession with self-care retreats. I thought she was coping. Turns out she was escaping. Back at the funeral, the priest's voice droned on about Oliver's bright soul. I couldn't focus. My mind replayed that photo, Lauren's smile, the guy's hand on her waist. Who was he? A coworker? A friend? Someone from her yoga class? I didn't know, but it burned. I wanted to scream, to call her and demand answers, but not here. Not in front of Oliver's memory. My brother-in-law, Mike, leaned over. "You okay, man? You look pale." I nodded, forcing a smile. Just, tough day. Understatement of the century. Here's where it twists. That night, after Oliver passed, I went through Lauren's laptop. Not to snoop, honestly, I was looking for a family photo for the funeral slideshow. But her email was open, and there it was, a confirmation for 2 plane tickets to Hawaii. One in her name, one for Ryan Decker. My heart stopped. Ryan. Her old college friend, the one she'd reconnected with at a reunion last year. She'd mentioned him casually, "Oh, Ryan's in town, we grabbed coffee." I hadn't thought twice. Now it hit me, this wasn't a fling. This was a wife affair exposed, and I'd been blind. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Oliver's last days were all that mattered. But the betrayal festered. Lauren came home 2 days before he passed, acting normal, hugging me, crying over Oliver, promising we'd get through it. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. but every touch felt like a lie. When she said she couldn't make the funeral because of a work emergency, I knew. She wasn't in a boardroom. She was with him. Back to the funeral. My phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. She doesn't love you anymore. Move on. My hands shook. Was this Ryan? A friend? Some stranger playing games? I shoved the phone in my pocket, my jaw tight. The priest called me up to speak. I don't know how I got through it. Words about Oliver's laugh, his love for dinosaurs, how he'd made me a better man. People cried. I didn't. Not because I wasn't broken, but because the tears were locked behind rage. After, at the reception, Hannah pulled me aside. Ethan, where's Lauren? This isn't right? I couldn't lie anymore. She's in Hawaii, I said flatly. Hannah's eyes widened. What? With who? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Saying it out loud would make it real. But Hannah wasn't dumb. She hugged me, whispering, you don't deserve this. Maybe I did. Maybe I'd worked too much, missed too many signs, let Lauren slip away. Or maybe this was just her, a cheating wife story I never saw coming. Here's the next twist. That evening I got a voicemail from Lauren. Her voice was shaky, not the confident woman in that beach photo. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I couldn't face it. I needed time. I'll explain when I'm back. Please don't hate me. No mention of Oliver. No mention of Ryan. Just her needs, her excuses. I played it again, then deleted it. I didn't need her words. I needed truth. I started digging. Not proud of it, but grief and betrayal make you do things. I checked her social media, private, but her friend Kayla had posted a story, Lauren and Ryan at a tiki bar, clinking glasses. The caption? Living her truth. Living her truth? While I buried our son? This wasn't just infidelity story time. This was a wife betrayal confession broadcast for her friends to cheer. I called Kayla. She picked up, surprised. Ethan? Oh, how are you? I cut to it. Where's Lauren? Silence. Then she's taking a break. She's been through a lot. A break? I laughed bitter. Tell her to enjoy her break. It's permanent. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but it felt good. For the first time, I wasn't just the victim in a true cheating story. I was taking control. That night, I sat in Oliver's room, surrounded by his toys. His favorite dinosaur, a green T-Rex, stared at me from the shelf. I thought about the Reddit cheating stories I'd read, husbands who forgave, husbands who fought, husbands who walked away. What was I? I didn't know yet. But I knew one thing. Lauren thought she could run, hide, come back when it suited her. She was wrong. The next morning, I got an email from Ryan. No subject. Just a single line, she's happier with me. Attached was another photo, Lauren asleep on his chest, the ocean in the background. My stomach churned, but I didn't break. I forwarded it to my lawyer. Divorce after cheating wasn't just an option, it was a necessity. This wasn't about revenge, not yet. It was about protecting what was left of me. Here's where it gets messy. Lauren called that afternoon. I let it go to voicemail. Ethan, please. I messed up. I'm coming home tomorrow. We can fix this. Fix this? You don't fix a husband revenge story like ours. You don't fix a marriage when your wife chooses her lover over her son's funeral. But her voice, soft, desperate, made me pause. Was there more to this? Was I missing something? I didn't call back. Instead, I went to Oliver's grave. The dirt was fresh, the flowers still bright. I sat there, talking to him like he could hear me. I'm sorry, buddy. I should have been enough for her. The wind picked up, and for a second I swore I heard his laugh. Maybe it was wishful thinking. Maybe it was a sign. Either way, it steadied me. When I got home, Hannah was waiting. She'd done some digging of her own. Ethan, Ryan's not just some guy. He's her boss. Her boss? Lauren had been working under Ryan for a year, never mentioning how close they were. Hannah showed me LinkedIn posts, Ryan praising Lauren's dedication, photos of them at work events, always standing too close. This wasn't a fling. This was a toxic relationship story, planned and hidden. I felt like an idiot. All those late nights, all those work trips, I trusted her. I'd believed in us. Now, I was the guy in a caught her cheating reaction video, except there was no camera, just me and the wreckage of my life. But I wasn't done. Lauren was coming home and I'd be ready. Not with yelling or begging, but with something sharper, silence. The kind that cuts deeper than words. The house was too quiet without Oliver's laughter. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at Lauren's coffee mug, still in the sink, lipstick smudged on the rim like she'd be back any second. Her flight was due in a few hours and I hadn't slept. My mind churned with her voicemail, we can fix this. Fix what? A cheating wife story doesn't just get patched up like a leaky pipe. But doubt not at me. What if there was more to her side? What if I'd missed something bigger? I opened my laptop, the screen still glowing with Ryan's email, that photo of Lauren asleep on him, the ocean mocking me in the background. I hadn't replied, but I'd saved it. Evidence, my lawyer called it. I wasn't sure what I was building a case for, divorce, closure, or just proof I wasn't crazy. I scrolled through Lauren's old texts, searching for clues I'd ignored. There it was, a month ago, dinner with Ryan tonight. Work stuff. Don't wait up. I'd been at the hospital with Oliver, too exhausted to question it. Now, it felt like a neon sign flashing, wife affair exposed. The doorbell jolted me. It was Hannah holding a box of Oliver's things from her place, crayon drawings, a stuffed shark he loved. Her eyes were red, but she forced a smile. You ready for her? She asked, setting the box down. I shrugged. Does it matter? Hannah sat across from me, her voice low. Ethan, I found something else. Ryan's married. Married? The words hit like a slap. Lauren wasn't just cheating, she was the other woman in someone else's toxic relationship story. Hannah pulled up a photo from Ryan's wife's Instagram, smiling family, 2 kids, a golden retriever. Her name's Megan, Hannah said. She doesn't know. I leaned back, my head spinning. Lauren, the woman who'd organized bake sales for Oliver's school, was wrecking another family. Was this who she'd always been, or had grief broken her? I didn't have time to process. My phone pinged, a text from Lauren, landing soon. Can we talk? No apology, no mention of Oliver. Just her, demanding my attention. I typed back, be here at 7. Short, cold? Let her sweat. By 6 p.m. I'd clean the house, not for her, but for me. A way to keep my hands busy, to stop myself from picturing her with Ryan. I found one of Oliver's socks under the couch, small and blue with a dinosaur print. My chest tightened. This wasn't just about a cheating wife caught, it was about a mother who'd abandoned her son when he needed her most. I tucked the sock in my pocket, a reminder of what I was fighting for. Lauren walked in at 7:03, her suitcase trailing behind her. She looked different, tanned, her hair loose, wearing a dress I'd never seen. No trace of the grieving mom she'd played before she left. Ethan, she started, her voice soft, I'm so sorry. I held up a hand. Don't. Sit. She hesitated, then sat on the couch, clutching her purse like a shield. The room felt heavy, the air thick with everything unsaid. I didn't yell. I'd planned to, but the words came out steady. Why weren't you at Oliver's funeral? Her eyes darted away. I couldn't handle it. I was breaking. Breaking? I laughed, sharp and hollow. You were in Hawaii with Ryan Decker. Breaking on a beach? Her face crumpled, but she didn't deny it. It's not what you think, she said. Ryan's been there for me. You were always at work or with Oliver, and I felt alone. Alone. The word landed like a punch. I'd been drowning too, but I hadn't run to someone else's arms. This wasn't just an emotional cheating story. It was a betrayal woven into every lie she'd told. How long? I asked. She swallowed. 6 months. 6 months. While Oliver was fighting for his life, she was building a new one with her boss. I pulled out my phone, showed her the photo from the unknown number, her and Ryan, all smiles. Explain this. Her eyes widened. Who sent that? She whispered, like that was the issue. Does it matter? You're not denying it. She stood, pacing. Ethan, I didn't mean for it to happen. Ryan listened. He understood what I was going through. Understood? I wanted to shake her. Our son died, Lauren. I was there, holding his hand. Where were you? Tears streamed down her face, but they felt performative, like she'd rehearsed this. I'm sorry, she kept saying, but it was empty. A wife-cheating confession with no weight. Then came the twist. There's more, she said, her voice barely audible. Ryan's leaving his wife. For me. I froze. This wasn't just a fling, she was planning a future. He's moving here, she continued, like she was confessing to a priest. We're serious. Serious? I thought of Megan, Ryan's wife, oblivious to her own cheating husband's story. Does Megan know? I asked. Lauren flinched. Not yet. He's waiting for the right time. The right time. Like there's ever a good moment to shatter a family. I leaned forward, my voice low. You left me to bury Oliver alone so you could play house with a married man. And you think you can just come back and fix this? She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I love you, Ethan. I got lost, but we can work through it. Love? The word felt like a blade. I stood, walking to the window. Rain streaked the glass, mirroring the storm inside me. Get out, I said. She gasped. Ethan, please out. She didn't leave. Instead, she dropped another bomb. I'm pregnant. My knees buckled. Pregnant? The room spun. Is it mine? I asked, hating how small my voice sounded. Her silence was answer enough. I don't know, she whispered. I turned, staring at her, not my wife, but a stranger. This wasn't just a caught cheating on camera moment, it was my life imploding. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just pointed to the door. Go to Ryan. Figure it out with him. She sobbed, grabbing her suitcase, but paused at the door. I didn't want this, Ethan. I still want us. Us. There was no us anymore. The door clicked shut and I sank to the floor, Oliver's sock still in my pocket. I thought the funeral was my lowest point. I was wrong. The next day, I called my lawyer, Sarah. File for divorce, I said. She didn't ask questions, just said, I'm on it. Anything else? I hesitated. Find out about Ryan's wife. She deserves to know. Sarah paused. That's not your job, Ethan. Maybe not, but I couldn't let another family burn without warning. This wasn't about revenge cheating wife vibes, it was about doing what Lauren wouldn't, taking responsibility. I didn't expect what came next. That afternoon I got a call from Megan, Ryan's wife. Hannah had reached out to her, sharing what she'd found. Megan's voice was steady, but I heard the cracks. Is it true? She asked. About Lauren and Ryan? I told her everything, the photos, the texts, Hawaii. She listened, silent, until she said, I thought he was working late. I'm such an idiot. I knew that feeling. You're not, I said. They are. Megan wasn't done. I found emails, she said. Ryan's been planning this for months. He's transferring assets, hiding money. He thinks I won't notice. My jaw tightened. Ryan wasn't just a cheater, he was a coward, screwing over his family while chasing Lauren. What are you going to do? I asked. She laughed, bitter. I'm meeting my lawyer tomorrow. Ryan's about to lose everything. I almost smiled. Maybe this was the husband revenge story I hadn't planned. That night, I went through Oliver's drawings from Hannah's box. One showed our family, me, Lauren, Oliver, stick figures under a rainbow. My throat closed up. I'd failed him, hadn't I? Not by not saving him, no one could, but by letting his mother drift so far. I tucked the drawing away, promising myself I'd be better. For him. Then another twist. Lauren showed up at midnight, banging on the door. I let her in, not because I wanted to, but because I needed answers. Her eyes were wild, mascara streaked. Ryan lied, she said, breathless. He's not leaving Megan. He used me. Used her? I almost laughed. And you thought he was your soulmate? She flinched. I was wrong, Ethan. I want to come home. Home. The word felt like a mockery. I crossed my arms. You're pregnant, Lauren? Whose is it? She looked away. I don't know. But I want it to be yours. Want. Like she could will it into truth. I shook my head. You made your choice. Live with it. She grabbed my arm, desperate. I'll do anything. Therapy, whatever you want. I pulled free. I wanted you at Oliver's funeral. You weren't there. We're done. She left, crying. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. You'll regret this. Ryan? Lauren? Someone else? I didn't know, but it lit a fire. I wasn't just surviving a Reddit cheating stories post. I was rewriting it. I called Sarah again. Add a restraining order to the divorce. Lauren and Ryan stay away. She didn't argue. Days passed and the story spread. Friends, neighbors, even Oliver's old teachers. They all heard about Lauren's betrayal. Some pitied me. Others admired my restraint. I didn't care. I was focused on something new. A foundation in Oliver's name, funding pediatric cancer research. It wasn't much, but it was mine. A way to keep his light alive. Then Megan called again. I confronted Ryan, she said. He admitted everything. He's begging to stay, but I'm done. She paused. I'm sorry about Oliver. And Lauren. I swallowed. I'm sorry about Ryan. We didn't say much else, but it felt like a pact. Two people burned by the same fire, choosing to walk away from the ashes. Lauren tried reaching out again, leaving voicemails about starting over. I deleted them, but one stuck with me. I'm keeping the baby, Ethan. I hope one day you'll forgive me. Forgive her? I wasn't there yet. Maybe I never would be. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. We're getting there. The rain stopped that week, and I took Oliver's T-Rex to his grave, placing it by the headstone. You'd have loved this fight, buddy, I whispered. Your dad's not backing down. I stood, the sun breaking through the clouds. Lauren thought she could break me. Ryan thought he could win. They were wrong. This wasn't the end of my story. It was the start of something new. What would you do with a second chance? Hold on to the past or let it go? The sun was too bright for January, cutting through the Seattle fog like it had no right to be there. I stood in my office, staring at a framed photo of Oliver on my desk. His toothy grin, clutching that green T-Rex. 6 weeks had passed since Lauren's midnight plea, since I'd told her we were done. The divorce papers were filed, the restraining order in place, but life didn't just snap back to normal after a cheating wife story. It lingered, like a bruise you kept pressing to see if it still hurt. It did. I was trying to move forward. The Oliver Caldwell Foundation was taking shape, small donations trickling in, a website live, a local hospital already interested in a partnership. It wasn't enough to fill the hole Oliver left, but it was something. My days were split between work, the foundation, and dodging calls from mutual friends begging me to hear Lauren out. They didn't get it. This wasn't just a wife affair exposed. It was a betrayal that rewrote my past. Every memory of us, our wedding, Oliver's birth, late-night talks, felt tainted, like I'd been loving a ghost. That morning, I got an email from Sarah, my lawyer. Lauren's contesting the divorce. Claims she wants mediation. Mediation. After Hawaii, Ryan, the pregnancy, I laughed, but it came out more like a choke. Lauren wasn't fighting for me. She was fighting for control, for the life she'd thrown away. I typed back, "No mediation. Push forward." Sarah replied instantly, "She's also asking for a paternity test. Says it's for closure." Closure. Like a DNA swab could erase what she'd done. I closed my laptop and headed to a coffee shop, craving noise to drown out my thoughts. The barista, a kid with a nose ring, recognized me from a local news segment about the foundation. "You're Ethan, right? That cancer thing for your kid? Respect, man." I nodded, forcing a smile. Respect. I didn't feel respectable. I felt like the guy in a Reddit cheating stories post, stuck in a loop of anger and what-ifs. That's when I saw her. Megan, Ryan's wife, sitting in the corner with a latte and a stack of papers. She looked different from her Instagram photos, less polished, her hair in a messy bun. But her eyes were sharp, like someone who'd been through hell and come out swinging. I hesitated, then walked over. "Megan?" She looked up, startled, then softened. "Ethan, didn't expect to see you here." I gestured to the empty chair. "Mind if I?" She nodded, pushing her papers aside. We talked for an hour, not just about Lauren and Ryan, but about everything, the kids she was fighting to protect, the foundation I was building for Oliver. It wasn't flirty, nothing like that. It was two people who'd been gutted by the same blade, comparing scars. "Ryan's still calling," she said, stirring her coffee. "Says he's sorry, wants to make it work. But I'm done." I nodded. Lauren's doing the same. Voicemails, texts, like she can erase it all. Megan leaned forward. "You ever think about confronting them? Together?" I raised an eyebrow. "What, like a showdown?" She smirked. "Something like that." The idea stuck with me. Not a screaming match, but something calculated. Something to make them face the wreckage. I'd read enough husband revenge stories to know revenge could backfire. But this wasn't about destruction. It was about truth. Megan and I exchanged numbers, promising to think it over. As I left, I felt lighter, like I'd found an ally in this mess. Back home, I found a letter slipped under my door. No stamp, just my name in Lauren's handwriting. My stomach twisted. I almost tossed it, but curiosity won. Inside was a single page, her words neat but shaky. "Ethan, I know you hate me. I hate me too. The baby's not Ryan's. I lied to push you away to make it easier. I'm keeping it and I'm moving to Portland. I won't fight the divorce anymore. I just want you to know I loved Oliver. I failed him and I failed you. I'm sorry." No signature, just a smudge where her pen had lingered. I read it 3 times, each pass cutting deeper. Loved Oliver? She hadn't even said his name in months. And the baby? Not Ryan's? Was it mine? Or was this another lie? Part of me wanted to call her, demand answers, but I stopped myself. This was Lauren's playbook. Tears, confessions, just enough truth to keep me hooked. I folded the letter and tucked it in a drawer. It wasn't closure. It was bait. The next day, I met Megan at a park, her kids playing nearby. She'd brought proof, bank statements showing Ryan had funneled money to an offshore account, emails planning his new life with Lauren. "He's not just a cheater," she said, her voice hard. "He's a thief." I showed her Lauren's letter. Her eyes narrowed. "She's playing you. Again." I nodded. "I know. But what if the baby's mine?" Megan didn't flinch. "Then you deal with it after the divorce. Don't let her pull you back in." We hatched a plan, not revenge but exposure. Megan had hired a private investigator who'd tracked Ryan's movements. He wasn't in Seattle. He was in Portland, renting an apartment with Lauren. They were playing house while fighting their respective divorces. The PI had photos, Ryan and Lauren at a diner, her hand on his, both looking smug. I felt sick, but Megan suggested posting the photos online, anonymously, tagging their workplace and mutual friends. "Let their world see who they really are," she said. I hesitated. Felt petty, but it also felt right. A true cheating story deserved an audience. We did it. The post went viral on a local Reddit thread, racking up thousands of comments. "Cheating wife caught" and "wife betrayal confession" were thrown around like confetti. Lauren's nonprofit fired her. Ryan's company put him on leave. Friends stopped calling me for updates. They were too busy gossiping about the scandal. I didn't celebrate. It wasn't joy, it was justice. But Lauren's response was swift. She called, screaming, "You ruined my life, Ethan. You and that bitch Megan." I let her rant, then said, "You ruined it yourself. Goodbye." I hung up, my hand steady. The fallout was brutal. Ryan tried suing Megan for defamation, but her lawyer shut it down. His own emails were evidence enough. Lauren moved to Portland, posting cryptic Instagram stories about healing and new beginnings. I didn't care. The paternity test came back. The baby wasn't mine. I felt relief, then grief. Another piece of us gone. But I wasn't alone. Megan and I grew close, not romantically, but as friends who'd survived the same war. Her kids loved my stories about Oliver, and I found myself laughing again. Real laughs, not the bitter ones. One night, I visited Oliver's grave, the T-Rex still there, faded but stubborn. "I'm okay, buddy," I whispered. "I'm fighting for you." The foundation was growing, $50,000 raised, a gala planned. I wasn't whole, but I was healing. Lauren sent one last email. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I hope you find peace." I deleted it. Peace wasn't her gift to give. Months later, I ran into Megan at the gala. She looked radiant, her divorce final, her kids thriving. "We made it," she said, clinking her glass against mine. I smiled. We did. The room buzzed with donors, volunteers. Hope. Oliver's name was everywhere. On banners, brochures, hearts. I thought of Lauren, Ryan, the pain they'd caused. They'd lost. I hadn't. I don't know if I'll ever forgive Lauren. Some days I want to, others I don't. But I'm not the man who stood by Oliver's coffin, broken and betrayed. I'm Ethan Caldwell, father, fighter, survivor. This cheating wife story didn't end me. It made me. What would you do? Forgive and forget or rise stronger? Drop your thoughts below, like this video, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that hit you where it hurts. Let's keep this conversation going.